Body language segment tonight. 60 Minutes scored big ratings with its President Obama interview last Sunday night, which centered on the bin Laden raid.
Were you nervous?
Yes.
What could you see?
We were monitoring the situation, and we knew as the events unfolded what was happening in and around the compound, but we could not get information clearly about what was happening inside the compound.
Right, and that went on for a long time. Could you hear gunfire?
We had a sense of when gunfire and explosions took place.
All right, here now, body language maven TONYA REIMAN. You know, I didn't pick up much from that. I mean, it wasn't like he was on the hot seat. He was just explaining what he saw and what he didn't see. What did you pick up from that?
Well, if you watched, he consistently looked down to his right, so you knew that what he was doing was kind of practicing what he had already planned on saying. And then the only time you see a little bit of a disconnect is where he starts increasing his blink rate at one point. And that's typically just because once we start to get aroused and we start to wonder what we're going to say next, we have to think faster, and the blink rate increases. So
when you're speaking extemporaneously, your blink rate always increases?
It depends upon what the context is. If it's something that doesn't make you nervous, then your blink rate won't increase.
Why would he be nervous, though?
Just because maybe he's not sure what he wants to release. He didn't practice that question enough. He's not exactly sure how much information
doesn't
he
want to give away too much.
Right, exactly.
Because it wasn't like he was under the gun there. I mean, it was just you know, what happened? Tell me what happened.
Well, he, as we learned this past week, has an excellent poker face. For him to be able to kind of keep his facial expressions the way they were, with all that going on, was huge. Right.
Some guy who doesn't really have a good poker face is Donald Trump, and he's a little teed off that Seth Meyers from Saturday Night Live worked him over at the Correspondents' Dinner in Washington. Roll the tape.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke. Donald Trump owns the Miss USA pageant, which is great for Republicans because it will streamline their search for a vice president. Donald Trump said recently he has a great relationship with the blacks, though unless the blacks are a family of white people, I bet he's mistaken.
Oh.
He just took such a hit. You know, there's a big difference when you talk about somebody who's an alpha and somebody who's a beta. Typically, we think of Trump as an alpha. But when you don't laugh at yourself and others are laughing at you, you lose so much power. So, you know, he did this is what I call the stalker glare instead of the stalker stare. It's not even a poker face. No. There's no blinking. It's just this tight expression, just staring.
It's like, I'm going to hit you.
Right. And you need a little self-deprecation at certain points so that the joke isn't on you.
No, but he knew everybody was looking at him, and that's just the tact he decided to take. I'm not going to show any emotion at all, which he didn't. All right, finally, at the royal wedding, we had Prince Harry, and I missed this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Prince Harry at the royal wedding. Go. So he was just sitting there.
A couple of things I want you to watch when you look at this. First, when he's looking at her, that coy, boyish grin that he gives her, very kind of playful, very close to his brother, which is nice. Now, you watch, and William doesn't move except for watch. He's going to do one quick bounce once he hears how good she looks. Boop, boop. You see that little jump up and down? That's an anti-gravity pose. And what happens is when you're confident and you feel good, you bounce up. So he's trying to be royal, not move, and then, you know, he bounces up. And here was interesting. He gave her an up and down glance. He looked her up and down in her bridal gown. And I just thought that was amusing.
Well, he's a guy.
You know?
I mean, the guy's checking everything out. He's the best man.
It was good. It was very good.
I like
it was very
those guys.
Emotional and fun.
Yeah, I think those guys are.
They were wonderful.
Okay. All right. And they weren't blinking either.
No blinking. They're smiling. No blinks.